Hello YouTube, Robin Hood Bricks here, and it's Brick Call O'Clock, with a large package full of extravagances from bricklink.com. Right, off we go. Very big package actually. I can't remember quite ordering this much stuff, but clearly I have, unless they've been very generous. So, it's another inside out Lego box. I do quite like it when they do that. It seems incredibly creative. That's why it's so big. We've got 4 of these great big air cushion bags in, and then we've got all of the stuff and some paperwork and one more bag on there. Right, put that box to one side. Yes, so quite a lot to be going through. Let's see if I can find the extravagances first. Well, yep, they're both in this one bag. So basically, I don't like spending a lot of money on really sort of expensive and rare products. I try and kind of economise where I can in my Lego City. But there are certain times when, well, you just have to get your wallet out and spend some money because the thing you need, there's no way around it and you really want it. So there are 2 examples here. And the first one is the Stranger Things Demogorgon. Now this only came in the Upside Down set from 2019, set 75810. And he is the Beastie, if you don't know, from Stranger Things. He kind of lives in a kind of parallel universe, and this is his mouth sort of opening in a kind of a scream, like that, before savaging somebody, and those are all nasty teeth. And this is just such a wonderful minifigure. I didn't really want that set just because of the size of it and, you know, having nowhere really to put it. But this baddie I thought was brilliant and really needed to be in Brick Nottingham lurking around. Or maybe, actually, I thought as part of a billboard, probably for Stranger Things. Now, not as, well, obviously for Stranger Things, but not as part of this order, but last time or the time before, I got the sticker sheet from the same set, and I really got it for this large Stranger Things sort of logo sticker, and that's because I want to stick it on a 6x8 slope piece, as you might get in the actual set, and then I've just made this little plinth here, so then when that's got the sticker on it, it will be kind of the backdrop of the advert, and then on it we can put our Demogorgon, and I do have his claws somewhere else in this order, so I'll be attaching those, and he'll be kind of in front of it there, and then on the other side, who better than my yellowed up version of 11, who is the sort of goody protagonist, if you don't know. On that side, and she's got a hand out because she's doing her sort of Neo-esque no type power move. Her nose isn't yet bleeding, because that often happens. And I thought that would be a really good 3D billboard to have around Brick Nottingham. You know, the sort of main characters in front of the sign itself. So I'll probably stick that on later. Well, that's exactly how it'll look. And show you that at the end of this haul. But yeah, I think that looks really good. So that's the only part from this order. And then the other extravagance was actually not for me, and I don't usually buy for other people, but in this case I've made an exception because it is for Mrs. Hood, who is, let's face it, the most important person, and she is a great fan of Wonder Woman, and she's already got the sort of normal old-style uniformed Wonder Woman in Lego form, but what she really wanted was this, the winged sort of golden version of Diana Prince, Wonder Woman, from the 76157 Wonder Woman vs. Cheetah set from 2020. So I think that is another wonderful minifigure. Oh, I do like that expression better though. Sort of mean expression, showing she means business. And I've also got her lasso somewhere else in this order, hopefully. And that printing on the front's just lovely, isn't it? Very reflective. And the wings outstretched. So that won't be part of Brick Nottingham. That'll be on Mrs. Hood's desk where she's been working since lockdown started. But that hopefully will give her a bit of cheer and a bit of Lego joy as well. So I really like that. That set I've also got the stickers for actually, but they're for my own sort of TV station build maybe one day. So this looks like an interesting bag, potentially with all those accessories in it. And the great thing about this order, I think apart from these big chunky white pieces that we'll see in a minute, this is all new, so I'm not going to have to do much washing up, so that's good. Yep, so there is the gold lasso, the lasso of truth. What should we give a right-handed lasso of truth? So I'll present Mrs. Hood with this after we've finished the haul, and hopefully that will cheer her up. Not that she needs cheering up particularly, but it's always nice to have something arrive in the post, isn't it? So there we go, that's that. What else have I got in here? Oh, I've got the claws. All these heads are rolling around. Let's get these claws on. Oh, they were listed separately. I mean, you could want to buy just the claws without the Demogorgon, but you definitely don't want the Demogorgon without the claws. There we go. So there is the beast in full effect. So those are quite scary. Maybe we should have one hand sort of coming forward like he's about to give somebody some nasty scratches. Yeah, he looks great. Love him. Yeah, so they were very extravagant. I can't remember exactly how much they were, but it was something like about £16, and I'm going to say about £10 or £12 for Wonder Woman. A bit over the odds, but I basically found the one seller that had both of them available for a not too exorbitant price, and that's how I chose the vendor for this one. And as usual, then I tried to buy as many alternate pieces from the same vendor as possible, just to sort of save on postage. So hold on, let's see if I can get all these heads into one tower while I'm talking. And almost there. Okay, so here is absolutely loads of minifigure heads for my Citizen collection. So at the bottom, they're the same, but double-sided. I've just arranged them so you can see both at the same time. There's the sort of scared man with glasses on, and I'm thinking probably that side for all of the rides in my Fairground. He's been in quite a few sets now, including 60161, Jungle Exploration Site, where I think he's the scientist. Then we've got two of one of my favourite heads, actually. Now, I've used that for the wino on my beach, but it is for the Series 12 Prospector. And I don't know, it's just a really sort of happy, sort of dumb smile with some bushy eyebrows. I just really like that expression. So I can give that to maybe a stall vendor in my Fairground as well, or, well, it could be anyone, a criminal, who knows. Then I've got two, again, different sides of the same face, and that's Harl Hubbs's face usually, and I just love this sort of tongue-out look of concentration. I've bought this head before, but I mean, you can use that multiple times in one city, can't you? And to be honest, the first side's a really nice sort of cheery smile anyway. So he's been in lots of sets as well, Harl Hubbs, including the Polybag 952018. It's a bit of a mouthful. And that's called Harl Hubbs with Tamping Rammer, which is one of those sort of things that you see them pushing around that keeps bashing the floor to kind of either knock over Wonder Woman or to sort of level some tarmac that they're laying. And I didn't really realise it was called a tamping rammer until now. So it just shows that every day is a school day. And then I've got two sides of the same one there, which is this, mainly for this look. And that's been in lots of sets as well, including the bookshop recently, 10270, which is on the kid with the toy plane that's stuck in the tree outside that bookshop. So more of those heads can definitely be used. And then the one at the top there with the plaster on, and I think that side probably, again, for somebody on one of my rides that they're not enjoying too much, is Douglas Elton, or his alter ego, Elf Wago, from all of the Hidden Side sets. And he's been in 4 of those sets, including 70421, Elf Wago's Stunt Truck, which is the one with the cool bikers, of course. So, yep, a good long totem of heads there for making all of my scenes as wonderful as possible. I've got a couple of torsos. Now, when these, I've been looking forward to these. I've already got one, but these are the torso for the Series 20 80s musician, who's the one playing the guitar. And when I got that, I just loved this tour jacket with the word tour on and this sort of cityscape. And I just threatened then that I was definitely going to be on the lookout for more of these in the future. And I'm true to my word. Here are 2 more cool dude leather jackets and t-shirt combos with tour written on the back. So clearly that can be for a band that's really hot in Brick Nottingham at the moment. And I was really glad to see on one of the leaked pictures for the new video range, you know, that sort of TikTok Lego style type app that they're going to be doing, that one of the characters has a keytar in that range. And they've sorted out the keys because the keys are all on back to front, with all of the sharp and flat notes being kind of at the bottom of the keys rather than at the top of them, as far as the player's perspective is concerned. And they've swapped it around now, so thank God, because that was just one of those things that was really sort of, once you noticed it, you just couldn't unsee it. So it was quite frustrating. And here is another little creature for my undersea setup. Now, it is actually the headwear, sort of hat for the Shark Army octopus guy from the Lego Ninjago movie series of 2017. And I've already got one of these as well, but I figured they're quite small, and an octopus this size would get absolutely lost in the size of undersea setting that I'm going to be doing. And yeah, it's really nice colour and so on. And I think the good thing about this is I'll have to do absolutely nothing to make that into an octopus. I don't need to add any other pieces, don't even need to add a sort of different coloured head on the inside because the mouth is perfect. I mean, I do know that octopuses don't have their mouth there. They would have their mouth kind of in the middle of all their tentacles, but it kind of works still. And if I really have to, I can always get a dark orange head to put in that space to sort of fill it up with the right colour. It kind of looks like a cartoon version of an octopus as we'd imagine it, you'd think. A few more neon orange dishes just to glow in that undersea scene. And I finally got all the tridents I'm going to need for all of my Atlantis warriors. You know, I've got everyone from the lobster one and the shark one, the hammerhead one, the barracuda one, the manta ray one. Well, I figured that they should all be tied together because they're all quite different, obviously. So I thought they all needed to be tied together by something common. So I thought if I gave them all an undersea gold trident, then that would sort of make them look like they were all, you know, working on the same team sort of thing. So that's what they're for. A collective great big prodding of trident spikes there. Some red flag pieces, which I'm just going to use for an awning. This is a head from a Hidden Side set. Specifically the JB's Submarine set 70433, which is from 2020. And this, as you might imagine, is the head from that statue. And it's got one sort of normal deadpan statue face and another where it's all sort of come to life with ghostly spirits or something. And I think I want it for the normal side, just to be another statue in my city. I'm accumulating statues. It could even be my face on the Robin Hood statue, arguably, couldn't it? Looking very stern, of course, but nonetheless, I quite like that. Right. This is the reason why we had such a big box, presumably. And it is the big, ugly rock pieces, brand new, in dark tan. And they're usually quite expensive. I mean, they weren't cheap here, but they were fair price. I think they're about £2 each. And getting 5 of those is really going to help fill in the more sandy areas of my undersea setting. And you can use them both ways, of course. So if you want to make a really interesting sort of wall, you could do something like that, make a cave. And that's definitely what I'm going to do, especially for some of my bigger sea creatures. Having little caves like this to live in and be sort of sticking out of will really add to the scene. So I need loads of those, probably loads more. While we're on that sort of colour palette, for exactly the same reason, I'm just going to move these two to one side so I can do some tipping. I've got loads of slope pieces. Now, the odd black one is for a specific project, but all of these tan and dark tan 1x2 slopes are just for, well, loads of tiny little details all around, say in front of a bit like this, just to give it a lot of texture. So there's a load of those. And the great thing about this seller, once I found him or her through parts I really wanted, there were quite a lot of ordinary parts in a new condition that were very good value. So, as usual, I just filled my boots and got as many as I could. So here is more slopes. So we've got a few more black ones for the black build that I'm not going to tell you about. And I've got loads of these big slopes. 3 tall, 1x2 at the top and 2x2 at the bottom. Sure, they've got a more professional name than that. And also in this bag are quite a lot of these more shallow slopes. And again, these are for the same things, but for sort of rocky outcrops. And you can very quickly make quite an interesting shape with just those two pieces, let alone adding any more. Something like that looks really good, I think. Okay, some are escaping. Another bag. They've used a lot fewer bags than some vendors, which I approve of. I do try and use bags again where I can, but it's not always possible. Right, here are some trans clear aerial pieces. Just those ones. And these are really useful for kind of mounting creatures on. So if I wanted my octopus to be kind of swimming along, you could kind of do that. I probably wouldn't balance it in real life, but you could put a 1x1 round brick on the top and then put the headpiece on top of that. And then, although it's held up by that, it does look like it's a bit free-flowing, I think. So I think that works. Now, the problem is these come in two different sets of plastic, and I think this is the type that does fluoresce under UV light. So that's less useful for my requirements because, you know, if I'm going to have UV light shining on it and it's doing something like that to give the illusion this guy's swimming and then the whole beam starts glowing, it kind of ruins the effect that you're going for. So if that's the case, then maybe it'll become, I don't know, part of a plant or something like that. It's like I've got something against Wonder Woman. I keep punching her in the face with my hand. Try and move her to somewhere a bit more safe. Or is it because she's a bit top heavy? I'll have to give her a base when I give her to Mrs. Hood. Then what have we got in here? Oh, I haven't really finished these. Bricks, yeah, modified bricks. These are just to hold all of my plants up whilst being in a rock face. So, you know, you might have one on there, for example, and then it can hold some sort of undersea vine or whatever it might be. These black and white ones are for a super secret police vehicle. Ooh, that'll be fun. And a few normal bricks. Then mainly panel pieces in this bag. Don't want to scratch these up because they're new, nice black 1x4x3 panels. So I'm just going to put those to one side so they don't get scratched. Wanted those new so they'd look nice and pretty. In fact, the same with the glass ones. The glass ones are for the super secret police build as well. As are these actually. Yeah, interesting. Then loads more pieces for undersea. Now, it wasn't that I was really shopping for these or that they were desperately urgent, but they were just a good price. Oh, a propeller I needed for a side build. But yeah, a lot of these pieces, like the signal holders, I mean, they were 2p each. So I thought I could use those to hold vines, you know, in an undersea setting as well. You just have them all over the place holding bits of plant matter and so on. And there's things like these little sort of fingery rock pieces that just add a lot of detail to any undersea scene. And then this and this are actually part of the side build that I'm going to do that is part of that Jungle Exploration site set 60161, which is you know, where I'm going to have a crashed plane as part of my undersea setting. And I'm going to have a shipwreck and all sorts as well, so it might be overkill. But I just really liked that side build. I just thought it always looked really good. I kind of wanted to buy the jungle set and have several jungle sets, but I just I just know I've got too much on my plate, and I've been building. Well, I've got too much of a backlog of project ideas and not enough time to do them. So anyway. Some Technic support arms in grey, and I'm going to use those to support all of the plants that have got kind of a Technic connector end, because a lot of the bigger ones actually use the Technic pin, like those dinosaur tails that I've got loads of in lime green now. That's for a build I'm not going to tell you. That's for more sort of sand detailing all around these, just to get a bit of smoother edges on some perhaps. You can all stagger them. More rock type pieces. Almost looks like half a turtle shell, that I always think, if you get two of them together, but it's another interesting shape. Some of these to hold Technic axles but horizontally, and as I say, it was really just because of the price of these that I bought so many, so it's a really good store for that. Then it seems we've got some not modified plates, wedge plates. So we'll tip these on top, knocked her over again. So some dark sand colour. Now I can use these for the paths in my Fairground as well, and whichever ones I don't use, I will be using under the sea. Then I've got some dark red ones. Now I'm not going to tell you what I need these for, and I need some more, and I need some more in different colours as well, but they are for an interesting build that you probably won't see for a while. So don't get too excited about that, but I will take guesses by all means. It's not an aircraft of any sort, or space or anything like that, so that might help narrow it down a little, but you'll never get it. And then that is actually the last wing piece I need, I think, for this, where's it gone, propeller build, for that crashed plane, because there's sort of fragments of the aircraft under the waves. I'm just copying that build pretty much entirely from that set, just to stick in my undersea setting. Ooh, Ziploc bag this time. Keep these rock panels nice and fresh. So these are the small ones. I was thinking of them as still being burps, but they're not big enough apparently. They're rock panels rather than burps. But anyway, so I've got quite a few of these, but they were really, really cheap. These used to be quite expensive, and their price has just crashed. I guess more people have them now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. If I've counted them right. So that's good. And in combination with those, they'll work as well. Then these are to hold up my Fairground. These are used, so I'll just tip these out in a slightly separate pile over here. So I'll give those a nice wash before I use them. But they're the 3 high bricks that I'm going to use to support my Fairground ground level from the hidden workings base plate level. Hopefully that makes sense from the videos I've done on that massive area build. Now this is very interesting indeed. So these are kind of the cloak and kind of headdress, I suppose you'd call it, pieces of the Shark Army General Number 1, which is also a minifigure from the Lego Ninjago movie series of 2017. So one you kind of fold into kind of a sort of thing around the back of her neck, and one, as I say, is the cloak. But I kind of thought they looked a bit like, well, either bushes under the sea. You can imagine one of those sort of being semi-translucent and sort of wafting in front of some rocks. Or I thought you could almost get a pair of them. Shall I pull them out? And sort of bunched up like they're supposed to be bunched up to make the sort of thing around the neck. What would you call that? Like a ruff or something like that? Anyway, I thought that looked very much like a fish's fin as well. Kind of, you know, one of its side fins. Is that a pectoral fin? I might have got that right. And if you had one of those on one side and one of those on the other side, it might look like a really sort of decorative fish as well. So, yeah, however I use those, I think that'll be really good and really 3D and really interesting. So let me pull out the other one. So there's kind of a small one and a big one. And I reckon the big one's more like a kind of plant sort of wafting. So if you sort of hide the holes and maybe angle it a little bit just so it looks a bit more interesting, that's definitely going to look good under the sea, isn't it? So that was a risk I took. It was a pretty cheap risk. So I thought, yeah, go on, I'll try 2 of those and see if it works. And I think it does. So I might even get more of those. And then last but not least, definitely not in size anyway, is 4 more 16 by 16 plates that I'm going to be using on my Fairground as the ground level. So they'll be supporting the rides and supporting the paths and all the rest, and I need a surprising number of those, so 5 of those will definitely help. So yeah, pretty good haul if you ask me. Obviously the stars of the show are the Demogorgon. Yeah, absolute legend. I love his sort of goat-shaped legs as well. Yeah, they're really interesting. He's got kind of spiky heels as well. And of course, Wonder Woman 1984, which is an okay movie. I've seen it. It's not bad. I think I prefer Wonder Woman in her normal sort of get-up. She looks very pleasing in it indeed. But there we go. There's the nice gold one. So as I say, that's for Mrs. Hood. And other stars include more sea life and details that are going to be in the undersea. Lots of little bits for projects like my crash plane and my Atlantis people, statue head, and lots of other general rock pieces, which I'm very happy to have indeed. So, great haul. Right, let me stick the sticker on this, and then I can show you my final Stranger Things advert for use in Brick Nottingham. Well, that went well. I'm sure I'm not alone in being relatively nervous when I place a very large sticker, that I make a good job of it. And I think I have. Can't see any air bubbles or non-straight lines or anything like that in there. I've deliberately put it as high as possible, so it looks good. So there we go. There's that. And there's 11 for one side. And our new Demogorgon for the other side. And they kind of block the letters a bit, but I think that's kind of right in a way. Maybe I'll tilt them inward a bit, so just sort of kind of looking a little at each other. Yeah, I think that's all right. We can still work out what it's saying, and that could be high up on the wall of a building, of course, and look like a very 3D advert for the new series coming out or something like that. I suppose I could make the bit at the front even wider. Maybe might be an idea, just so they're one more stud away, so we can kind of see more of the lettering. That would be very easily done. Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea, isn't it? So I'll probably make that wider at the bottom, but you get the idea. I thought that would be a really interesting thing to have mounted on a blank wall of one of the modulars or something like that. So I hope you agree. Do tell me what you think of that. Cool. Well, those two extravagances that we bought from this store, I think, have lived up to expectations. They're probably worth the relatively silly money that they cost, I think. And the Demogorgon, for me, is definitely the star of the show. I'll give him a good home in Brick Nottingham, I promise. So other really good things have been, I think, the undersea items, really. With this being the highlight, I'm really looking forward to using those in a creative way. And I think you'll agree it's probably a different way than anyone else has used them, at least on YouTube so far. So great haul, great ideas. Do let me know if you have any ideas for these pieces that I haven't mentioned or considered yet. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching. It is appreciated. Do remember to like, comment and subscribe for more awesome LEGO videos. And if you value this channel, there are many ways in which you can support it. Do check out the links in the description below. And next time on Robin Hood Bricks, we'll be doing another edition of Fairground Fridays on Friday. And I haven't decided what we're doing yet because the whole LEGO room has been put into disarray by the movement of the tables and the putting in of the blind instead of the curtain. And it might be that we might have to, at some point, maybe not this Friday, but definitely at some point, go back and do another Farm Fridays, kind of to rejig the farm around a bit to make use of that windowsill and so on before we go back to Fairground Fridays later on. So, yeah, it's all up in the air at the moment. But whatever we do, I'm sure it'd be great. So, until then, see you!